Rockwell. I'd like to know, are you really ready for some super dynamite soul? And thank you, because now it's start time.
Assalamu alaikum. Peace be unto you, and you. It's Saturday, and guess what? You are tuned in to the Rockwell Radio Show. Glad you're here. I just said it's Saturday, didn't I? It's not Saturday, it's Friday. That means this is a abnormal, out of the ordinary, just a little bit to the left kind of conversation that we're going to have today. As you know, we normally go on the air on Saturdays at 7 p.m., but we wanted to get on a day early. And there is going to be a show tomorrow, but we wanted to try to get in today as well, because so much happened in the week, and I wanted to do this conversation earlier in the week, but time and schedules just wouldn't allow. Well, Vaughn, why did you want to get on the show early? Because we just witnessed something pretty doggone phenomenal this past Sunday. Super Bowl 56. Yeah, you know what I want y'all to do before we even start talking about Super Bowl 56, before we even start talking about what we witnessed, I need everybody that's watching to go ahead, hit that like button, hit that share button, and me and Big Dave are pushing for 500 subscriptions on the Rockwell Radio Show. We need your help. We need your support. And guess what? Speaking of support, people have been asking me, Vaughn, what you're doing is good, man. Your show is top quality. Why don't you have a Cash App? Well, if you want to support the Rockwell Radio Show, you can do that too. Go to your Cash App and support the Rockwell Radio Show at $ Rockwell Radio. And we surely appreciate it, because we're trying to do something that hasn't been done. Something that should be done. There needs to be a voice. There needs to be a lane where people can talk politics. A lane where people can talk hip hop. A lane where people can talk spirituality. A lane where people can talk about the resurrection of a people. And that's what we do here at the Rockwell Radio Show. Now, tonight, as I was saying, please share the show. And as you come in the building, let us know where you're watching from. Well, first I want to ask a couple of questions. Speaking of watching, who watched the game Sunday? Go ahead, don't be afraid. A lot of us front like we didn't watch the Super Bowl. So, we front like we're super black and super, y'all watch the game, man. Stop it. Knock it off. If you watch the game, put a 1 in the chat. It's all right. I watched. But I want to ask a couple of questions before I introduce my guest. And we're going to quickly go over a few NFL facts. Well, some people are conflicted about the fact that they watched, and they don't publicly say, yo, I watched the Super Bowl. What is it that we're conflicted about? Some people don't have an answer to that question. What does the Super Bowl have that you need to watch it for? Let's talk about that. We got a legendary halftime performance. Yes, we did. We can't front on that. Yes, Dr. Dre. Yes, Mary J. Blige, Snoop, all of them, Fifth, Eminem, they gave us some fire. Did they represent for the culture? Yes. But at what cost? And what did we get? We black people, what are we getting in return? It goes without saying that there's been contention between black folks and the sporting industry for years, decades. There's no secret about that. Now it's impossible to ignore it. What I want to do very quickly to set the tone of exactly why we're here, I want to remind you of something that happened in 1988. Big Dave, run the tape.
There, CBS sports commentator Jimmy the Greek Snyder gave his impressions of blacks in coaching in the National Football League. His answers could raise as much controversy as the statements by former Dodgers executive Al Campanis last April on ABC's Nightline news program.
Yeah, pretty soon they're going to have to equalize it for the blacks, for the Greeks, the Jews, and for everybody. I mean, let's make it equal for everybody. You know.
And is it equal? What about in sports?
Well, they've got everything. If they take over coaching like everybody wants them to, there's not going to be anything left for the white people. I mean, all the players are black. I mean, the only thing that the whites control is the coaching jobs. Now, I'm not being derogatory about it, but that's all that's left for them. So black talent is beautiful. It's great. It's out there. But, you know, the only thing left for the whites is a couple coaching jobs.
Yeah, maybe we need to get more black coaches.
Oh, it's all right with me.
Okay, well,
I'm sure that they'll take over that pretty soon, too.
That was in 1988. That was old Jimmy the Greek for you old school NFL fans who used to watch him commentate for CBS during Sunday Night Football. Those comments got him fired. Remember that? Those comments got him canned. Now, that was over 30 years ago. Have mindsets changed in the NFL at all? That's what me and my brother is going to talk about tonight in just a few moments. So you can get the understanding of what black folks is dealing with, what professional athletes are dealing with. Before I bring my brother on, I want to go over a few quick NFL facts. Watch this. The NFL is over 100 years old, founded in 1920. Obviously, everyone knows that since 2002, there's 32 teams in the league, right? And what people are just now starting to figure out is that out of 32 teams, there's only 2 black head coaches. And at one point, there was a 7 maximum, and that was in 2006. How about out of 32 teams, 0 black owners, and we're talking about, Big Dave, 7 out of every 10 players are black. That sounds like slavery to me. That sounds like inequity to me. Now, they put up the one about how many people watched the game this past Sunday. And if you're watching, I want you to share this. How many people do you think watched the game? If you think you know, put it in the comments. Big Dave, put up that screenshot. How many people watched the game? Not that one. The one with Dre and them on the front. Not that one. The one with Dre and them on the front. That one. 112.3 million people tuned in to watch Super Bowl. That is up 10% from 5 years ago. The most watched in 5 years. Now, why do you think that happened? And we're about to bring my guest on in just 1 second, and it's the last point I want to make. 5 years ago, what happened? Who protested 5 years ago, Big Dave? Put the screen up. That happened just over 5 years ago. Is it a coincidence? Let's move on. Let's bring on my brother so we can analyze, talk about this phenomenal event we saw and what we're getting back. What do we deserve back? What do we think should happen with the NFL? Did they use hip hop to hide their BS, to cover their racism? Did we get played? Hip hop is a culture that's having an impact worldwide. We're the brand new rock and roll. But is it possible that we got used? Share the show. Big Dave, let's bring on our brother. I want to first tell you about him. He's a veteran MC, the Madism rapper. Y'all know him. You've seen him on the Versus stage in the most popular clash of the classic Titans and Versus history. He was there. He frequently appears on that popular podcast down out of Florida. I'm talking about Drink Champs. You'll see him there all the time. This brother has a brand new super dope video and single streaming everywhere right now called Jewelry. It's crazy. And last but not least, I had the honor to rock with my brother as his DJ at a show right here in Atlanta just a few short months ago. Please welcome to the Rockwell Radio Show for the third brother. He's been here a number of times. Welcome my brother, Hakim Green. Let's go.
Salute, brother.
I'm sorry, brother. That was a long intro, but I had
it's all good. I soak it all up. I take it all. Thank you. Big shout out to Queen Yanaj. That was that event in Atlanta.
I was to your Najah. We love you.
Got a big love you, Queen. Yes. Man, it's crazy out there right now,
brother. Again, welcome back, man, and we appreciate you taking out of your time to be here with us tonight.
Man, it's always a pleasure, bro. It's always a pleasure. Thank you for having me, man. I'm honored. Thank you, sir.
And again, if you're watching, go ahead, take this finger, hit the share button, hit that like button, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. We're going to reach our 500 subscription goal today. We can do it with your help. All you got to do is spread the word because we got something of value to share with you. With us is my brother, Hakim Green. Now, before we jump in, big brother, the first question is going to be a two-part question.
Okay.
What is this natural correlation between hip hop and sports? And before you picked up the mic, was you ever nice with The Rock or was you ever a sports guy?
All right. So growing up, I just knew I was going to be a wide receiver for the Dallas Cowboys.
Say word.
Sports and athletics, very, very much a part of my childhood growing up. Football, basketball, baseball. I gravitated towards football, played high school football. Right. I wasn't that great. I was played quarterback, played safety, got to college, thought I was going to walk on the team and realized how much it actually took to play on that level. And this was a Division III school. They ended up the national champions, the Division III national champions, right? So I got the best Division III school that I went to. I got to see firsthand, and none of these players are going to the NFL. Mind you, it was one guy who tried out for the Jets,
right?
But he didn't make it. So if it's that intense on that level, can you imagine how intense it is on the D1 level,
up here,
and then on the professional level? These brothers, are giving their blood, sweat, tears. The average age of a professional football player is like 50s, like early 50s in terms of life expectancy, the average life expectancy of an NFL player, like 10, 15 years taken from you to play a sport that you love, hopefully make a lot of money, hopefully change the, reality of your family and your close friends. But, only a select few actually ever get to the pinnacle. So they sacrifice so much, they give so much. And, we need to see more representation, where it really counts, so we can kind of direct, control the direction of these platforms that we give ourselves over to. So I want to kind of that angle in terms of the NFL as a platform, what it is, who owns it.
Come on.
What you do when you own something, you control it. You don't give things away. Things have to be taken away. Right? So lots of times we're looking for these different platforms, these different organizations, to give us something. And, unfortunately, through my own pitfalls and heartaches, I learned that you don't get what you deserve. You get what you negotiate.
Listen.
Right. And I think that until we have something that we can hold as our own, we're always going to get the short end of the stick. Like, there's no competition. There's no reason for these owners to give us anything, because where else you going to go?
You right. All in the paper. You all in here.
Where else you gonna go? You're gonna play. If you play football, you're gonna play for the NFL. And if you don't want to play for the NFL, I got 15, 20, 30, 200, 400 other young talent that's willing to take your spot, waiting to take your spot and get on this platform. You know what I mean? So, I don't want to get too. Not get too far. So okay.
No,
I don't know if that answers your question. It was a two-part question.
The second half. The first part was this: what is it that what explains the perfect marriage of hip hop and sports?
Okay.
As far as I can remember, those two things have always been together.
Black people, period. Now it's not always been together, but wherever black people go, our energy just dominates. It takes over. It's the way we move. It's everything we do. We call it hip hop. Back then they called it jazz, bebop, rock and roll, whatever it is. When we get in something and we add our little flavor to it, it just makes everything that much better. So as Jimmy the Greek was saying, he didn't lie. He didn't lie. He didn't lie. He got fired for telling the truth. He got fired for telling the truth. He got fired for giving away the jewelry. Right. So you talking about dominance. He didn't say we couldn't be head coaches. He said it's only a matter of time before they're going to take over that too.
Yep.
Right. It's just a reality. It's an inevitability that I think that we don't give enough credence to. So we don't organize and prepare for the inevitable.
Come on, ladies and gentlemen, in the house with us is our brother Hakim Green. The man is an MC. He has a podcast that runs every Thursday. Catch him there. And also in the comments, in the description of this video, you can find the link to his show. Let's move on, dear brother. So really, you already answered the question. But I want, perhaps if I ask it in this way, we might be able to read some more into this. I wrote here, so you heard what Jimmy the Greek said. You literally just dealt with this. He was eventually obviously fired in '88 for his comments. Now, he of course was, to me, that set the stage for the exact conversation that we're having today. Do you think that he was racist? Or did he get fired? And again, you really just said this. Add on. Did he get fired because he told a truth? You really did this.
All right, so both. All right, both. And rest in peace, Jimmy the Greek. So everybody in America is racist. Everybody is. Black people, white people, everybody's racist. But what is racism? What is it? Now, race, as far as I've been taught, is a pseudoscience. There actually is no scientific foundation for race. So what was race? Race was created by white quote unquote white people to divide humanity up to conquer it. They created a social structure called racism to keep that going. Everybody in America participates in that. And that is keeping white people in a power position. When I say black people are racist too, yes, we're racist against ourselves. We're not racist against white people because there's no system in America that we play that undermines white power. Is Jimmy the Greek racist? Yeah, he's racist. Is Jerry Jones racist? Yeah, is Roger Goodell. Like, is this white man or that white man racist is the wrong question. Yes. They're all racist. Okay. But where is the racism? How does it function? What keeps that power going? Let's break that down and analyze it. When we get into is so-and-so racist, now we're getting into whether I like that person or not. Or what I think that person meant when he or she said XYZ. I don't want to get into that. Yes, everybody's racist, but what's the effect of what they said or what they did? That's what we got to get into.
Interesting. Okay.
All right. So was he racist? Yeah, was he racist? Did he tell the truth? Yes, he told the truth about racism.
Okay, let's put it up.
So listen. So he talks about how the black slave was bred, right? And that produced a genetically superior athlete. and that the NFL has basically been making a profit off this result of genetic engineering.
Right.
Isn't that racist?
And at his nature.
If you would make money in that system, aren't you a racist too?
Wow, now I see where you're going. Okay, I see where that train just went. Okay.
Hey, if you would participate, get money from, eat off of, knowing that this system is built off of this, aren't you a racist too?
You in the comments, I want to hear what y'all think about what he just said. I want to hear y'all feedback on that.
So yes, he was a racist, but at that point he was exposing the racism in the system that he willingly participated in. Even Jimmy the Greek, I mean, he was in the gambling. Yep. You know, the mafia, the underworld, running all that's built based on racism. Black people can't participate on the upper echelons of those systems. Black people were purposely, like, if you got, you know, the underground in the black community running numbers is illegal.
Right.
But white boys could go run numbers. They call it lottery, picket.
All pretty name.
all day long. We all participate in a racist system that is built on keeping black people away from the channels of power. That's racism.
Come on, y'all. Hakim Green in the building. If you're watching, hit that like button. If you're watching, hit that share button. Come on, because we're gonna treat this conversation tonight. Tonight, we're gonna treat tonight's conversation, Big Dave, like we in the barbershop. We're gonna treat tonight's conversation like we're two brothers sitting in a chair, getting our fade up, you know, whatever, chilling, talking about sports and hip hop. But this conversation goes a little bit deeper. Before we even get to talking about the game, let's talk about the headlines. Let's talk about Brian Flores, former coach of the Miami Dolphins.
Yeah.
Let's talk about him. Now, he, of course, as I just said, was the former coach of Miami Dolphins. There he is right there. Now, as you know, he is suing the NFL. And that happened right at the same time as the Super Bowl was rolling around the corner. This obviously was a bad look for the NFL. So what I would like you to do, as you've been doing already, can you please tell us, do you think that he has a case? Explain the Brian Flores case, and how do you think it's going to come out for him?
Okay, so Brian Flores being the former head coach of the Miami Dolphins, there's a number of critical issues with his particular case. One, he alleges that the owner, Stephen Ross, had asked him to forfeit games, and that Stephen Ross would pay him $100,000 per game that he lost.
That's big.
That's huge. And it seems like the NFL is taking that allegation seriously, and there's an investigation going on. Okay, that's that. Then there is they arranged a meeting between Stephen Ross and Deshaun Watson, who's a player for the Houston Texans. And that's a whole controversy in and of itself with, sexual assault allegations against Deshaun Watson because he wanted to leave because the Houston franchise is just a raggedy franchise. And there's a lot going on over there. But one thing you can't do as another team owner is called tortious interference, if I'm not mistaken. But you can't talk to other players under contract for other teams. Okay. You have to wait till that player has been released, or you have to be given permission from that team to talk to this player. So allegedly, Brian Flores alleges that Stephen Ross, the owner of the Miami Dolphins, set up a meeting, brought him into it, not knowing that the player he was meeting was Deshaun Watson. When Brian Flores says that once he found out who the player was, he immediately left because that's illegal. That's outside of the rules of engagement with the NFL. Mm-hmm. Okay, so there's that. Then there is the Brian Flores was up for the job at the Houston Texans, right? He was supposed to be interviewed. When he dropped his lawsuit against the NFL, excuse me, I missed an important detail. because he was going to also interview with the New York Giants.
Mm-hmm.
And before he was able to interview with the New York Giants, he gets a text message from Bill Belichick saying congratulations for the job in New York. And he was like, I didn't interview yet for the job in New York.
So what are you talking about?
So what do you talk about? Bill Belichick goes, oops, I think I just messed up. Right. And he used other words, but whatever. So so now he's got the Giants looking crazy. Like they already had Brian. I can't predict it starts with a D, but it's another former assistant coach for Bill Belichick named Brian. Forget his last name. He was basically given the job by the New York Giants without going through the process of interviewing with everyone. So there's a rule in the NFL called the Rooney Rule, which
Explain that
established by Art Rooney, owner of the Pittsburgh Steelers, who's been very progressive in having black quarterbacks, black coaches. Of course, Mike Tomlin, who's the head coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers now, is a brother, and they're they've been very progressive compared to the other owners in the league, mind you.
Right.
I don't want to say he's, the white Martin Luther King or nothing like that. We don't get that title. We don't
go that far.
Hey, we don't go that far. I don't think the wrong picture. But there's this rule that's been drafted that says each team in hiring a new coach must sit down with at least a number of, minority. I don't like that word minority because we're the majority. We're not minority. Minor means minor. Anyway, that's the whole thing. So people of color, etc. Right. And of course, the owners, they haven't done that. Now, when you own something, you don't like to be told what to do. That's with anybody. That's with me. If it's mine and I own this, how you gonna tell me who I'm a hire? How you gonna tell then it's not mine? If you can tell me who I'm supposed to hire, then it's not mine then. And I think Deion Sanders said we're going about this all wrong. And this is what kind of turned the light on my own head. Prime time, Coach Prime. He said, what we need to be doing is fighting for ownership, not fighting for head coaches. Because with ownership, then you can make your own decisions because you own the team. You can decide what you're going to do, what have you. Now, that goes the same for we need our own league because there's still 32 owners. There's a board of regents that has to vote for all new teams coming in.
Right.
And then you just don't say, I got the money, I want a team. You have to be voted in. Now, I mean, that's how we should be running our stuff. We should be saying to people, in order to get down what we doing, we got to vote you in. If we don't vote you in, but see, what we do is they play on us like everybody's supposed to run this show with hip hop. Everybody's supposed to get a say so just because you could rhyme or you could do whatever, because we didn't do our due diligence. We didn't do what we were supposed to do by setting up the proper filter. I got this song called Stolen Art. I got to spit that for you before we get out of here.
Done. Come on, man. Wow. I heard Chuck D make a similar point that hip hop should be ran like they run the league. Wow. Come on, man. We just give it so. Come on. Yo, I saw this clip Snoop put up. It hurt my heart, man. But it's exactly what it is. So respect to Eminem for taking a knee. We was going there too. Eminem. I'm sorry, am I too early? I hold it. Just under the hat. We'll come back to that. I hold this hurt my heart, man. We're almost at the half break, y'all. We want to thank my brother for being in the building with us. This is Hakim Green, Channel Live, Madism Sports. Yo, we're talking about sports and hip hop right here on the Rockwell Radio Show. And people are like, man, Vaughn, what is you doing talking about sports? You don't talk sports. You talk Islam. You talk, Final Call. Yeah. But when our people are involved, we have to cover all. And that's what people come to the Rockwell Radio Show for. Before we go to the break, let me get in these last two quick questions. Brother, listen to this. It's safe to say, Hawk, that Black people have had a contentious history with every major sports league in the country, right? Mm-hmm. While at the same time, our participation in all of their sports is vital. So if we make up 70% of the league, and we do, there is no league without black people. Is it possible, Hot, that the black athlete doesn't understand his value?
Yes, but there's the individual and then there's the collective, right? So in your individual position, in your individual situation, you're making decisions based on that. And we haven't done a great job as a people is unifying our collective investment, our collective interest, unifying our collective. We just haven't done a good job. And the other thing, if you're going to take something from somebody, we have to replace it with something. And if we're asking black athletes to not participate here, there has to be something else we're giving. Because we're not just talking about, the avenue, the platform, the venue to express your talents. We're talking about the revenue that's derived from that. And how do you replace that when someone can make millions of dollars playing the sport they love? Changing the reality for their immediate family. You say, well, if you just hold out another 5-10 years, young man, collectively we'll have more. It's kind of a hard, that's kind of, because that's what we're talking about. We're talking about, give us 5-10 years to get our feet up under us. So as a new league or a new organization or we can supplement what you would have lost. The brain trust has to be put together to figure out how to make our collective interest more important or as important as our individual interest. And that's hard to do. I don't know if I said that clearly.
No, I got the point. And I'm hoping that my viewers got the point as well. It's kind of like they say, we want dope boys to come off the corner, but what are you going to put in their hand instead?
Right. It's kind of hard to, when you're making money, you say, I need you to step back though. I got rent. I got mortgage. I got car notes.
Everything is real. And the counterpoint is those of us who are asking them to do, what are you going to do for them? So that's a real argument. Let's close out the first half of this last question. Since we're talking about understanding value, big brother, I am hearing a lot of talk about how proud we should be. Oh man, hip hop is known the biggest stage in the world. Hip hop to me been on the big stage of the world. So, but here's something I bet people don't know, and maybe I'm sure you know this. The following artists, Hakim, have reportedly at one point turned down the offer to be on the big stage at Super Bowl. Outkast, Cardi B, Rihanna, and ironically, Jay-Z. So, does Jay-Z and Roc Nation's arrangement with the NFL help the social cause of black people or pad the bottom line of the NFL?
Both.
Both.
Please, all right, so Jay-Z was a sports, Roc Nation was a sports agency before Colin Kaepernick took the knee. Okay. When Colin Kaepernick took the knee, the brother was so powerful. The brother was so just the statement was so powerful. He shook up the world. He had world leaders having to comment on what was going on. He had owners, broadcast TV exec, major shook. What we gonna do? Got this black man with the afro taking the knee. You got kids all around the world, other athletes taking the knee, taking a stand. Man, that's crazy. That's the reason why a Roc Nation could present itself as an agency for change within the NFL. If Colin Kaepernick doesn't take the knee, Roc Nation is not where it's at because we're still dealing with the backlash of Janet Jackson and the NFL promising to never have any hip hop / black music really, right? So that was actually a thing. Colin Kaepernick does what he does. The backlash from all that, black people finding the enough is enough. We need change, and a lot has. I mean, I say change. I say change, but there has been a level of investment from the NFL, individual teams, Rock Nation. Jay-Z does a great deal of work behind the scenes, financing different things that are very radical, very militant, very progressive, very much our people. My son, Tamika Mallory, got behind George Floyd, Trayvon Martin, the documentary he did with Trey, like that. Like all these things are things that he does not have to do. And that the way, I've been very critical of Jay-Z over the years, extremely in my music, out, in protest, because of the imaging, the content, what I thought, but then getting to know more about what's going on behind the scenes and how the impact of him as an artist translates to thousands of people being in a better place in their life. Like he truly is a machine. Now he's a machine that gets to be in partnership with this other machine called the NFL. Somebody has to do that. Why not Jay-Z? Why not Rock Nation? Right?
So what do you say to those who critique him by saying he sold us out and now he's working for, he's in bed with the power?
That this is America, and if you're trying to eat, if you're trying to build an empire, if you're trying to be financially successful in any way, shape, or form, like what are you doing this for? On Jay-Z's level, like what is he doing this for? He's a sports agent. His Rock Nation has a sports agency that represents athletes, football players, basketball players. Right. This is before Colin Kaepernick. So Rock Nation being in a position, of course, his relationship with all his endeavors, his investments, puts him in a place to be able to have those conversations, to be able to represent the culture in a way that's like, listen, I can come in here and do this, but now we have these other programs that are going on that I need you to get behind. I need you to put money behind. I need you to, like that's really contrary to what we think of as the NFL and ownership, which leads me back to the halftime and what actually happened in my perspective. Okay. I don't know if you want to save that for the second half or I can hop in now.
Better yet, let's do it for the second half. You've been listening to the Rockwell Radio Show. My name is DJ Rockwell. My guest is Hakim Green, Madism, and we're talking sports, hip hop, and racism in the NFL. We will be right back after this break. Let's go.
This is your brother Willie Muhammad, and I'm asking each and every one of you all to tune into the DJ Rockwell Show, live online. Peace.
Peace. This is your sister Aisha, the mental resurrectionist, hailing out of Baltimore, Maryland. Listen, whenever I'm online, I always tune into the Rockwell Radio Show. It's that hype. It's that dopeness. And you should tune in too. Peace to my brothers David and DJ Rockwell for holding it down, locking it down, giving us those sounds. Love y'all. Peace.
Assalamu alaikum. I'm Sister Latasha Muhammad, and when I'm online, I rock with the Rockwell Radio Show.
Assalamu alaikum. This is Brother Vaughn Muhammad of the Rockwell Radio Show. For years, I've been hearing the same thing from a lot of people. Brother Vaughn and DJ Rockwell are completely two different people. So I came up with a way to separate the both of us, and perhaps we can get along better if we try it this way. Introducing DJ Rockwell. What we're going to try to do is do this together and not get on one another's nerves. Every Saturday at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, check out your brother Vaughn Muhammad and this guy, DJ Rockwell.
worldwide, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Download the Final Call Radio app and take us everywhere. On your phone, on your computer, on your tablet, on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. You can also log on to finalcall.com and click the Listen Live button or finalcallradio.com. Final Call Radio, the official voice of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan and the Nation of Islam.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're back. This is DJ Rockwell, the nation's #1 DJ, your host of the Rockwell Radio Show. And my guest with me is brother Hakim Green, Channel Live, keeping it live. Mad-ism, sparkling all day. I'm sorry, that's your line.
All we do.
That's your line. I'm sorry. Let's jump back into this thing real quick, brother. I want to really quickly go back to the relationship between hip hop and this halftime show and that stage, that big stage. We said in the first half that over 112 million people watched that show, watched that game.
Yeah.
What artist, Hawk, wouldn't want to be in front of that kind of audience? Who doesn't want that kind of exposure? I get it.
Yeah.
So Mary J. Blige said, yo, in spite of not getting paid, I'll still do this because it's a opportunity of a lifetime, she said.
Mm-hmm.
So having said that, in light of the obvious racist practices that go on and the obvious inequities that go on in the NFL and the lack of us being in leadership position continually, what is a more effect? So let me ask it this way. What is a more effective way to approach this as artists? If you're Dre, Mary, and those guys.
All right, so
performing and giving us songs like All Right, that has a substantive message to it, or we out. What's more effective?
This and that, not this or that. This and that. Let's get it all, right? We got to create our own so we can do what we want to do in our own spaces.
That's what we teach.
Right. When we go into spaces that are not ours, how you say, when in Rome, do as the Romans do, to a degree. Because Rome could get a little
hectic.
Yeah, we don't want to debase ourselves.
Right.
We don't want to debase ourselves, but the idea there's a certain set of customs that you honor, so you can make it out of said culture a lot.
Right.
Okay. Now, when Colin Kaepernick took the knee that year, the Super Bowl, Beyonce was the headline.
That's right.
It was the halftime. And she had a bunch of Panther lookalikes come out as a tribute to the Black Panther Party 50 years.
That's right.
Symbolism. It's a way of talking to people without having to talk to people. Right. It's in the middle of the college. So all this Colin Kaepernick, of course, we watching black men and women die at the hands of police all across the nation. Enough is enough. We already know what the Black Panthers stand for. We know that 50th anniversary, Black Panthers everywhere. We talking about it. She comes out, boom, that's what you see. Bow. In front of these racist owners, this racist league. We're going to show you what we about. Now, fast forward.
Yes, she did.
This past Super Bowl. I'm not gang affiliated. I'm down with my people. I'm down with anybody who's trying to do right by people. How about that?
Come on.
That's what I'm down with, right? But it was also liberating to see a gang demonstration at the 50-yard line on halftime. That was kind of dope.
People had some mixed responses about that.
It was dope because when you understand the history of the Crips, Crips and Bloods, as organizations for the upliftment of black people coming out of the Black Panther Party, when you see, again, thanks to the Nation of Islam, and the Black Panther Party, when you see black men and women in formation, but being themselves in formation, discipline, structure, choreography, timing, unity, and you see our people that look like our people on the 50-yard line at halftime doing what they do.
Listen, come on.
It sends a different message that like it's a different, it wasn't we trying to fit in. It was this is who we are as black people, black and brown people. And you get Eminem come in and he takes the knee.
Now hit that. Now
he takes the knee. He's in all black and he takes the knee. That was phenomenal. That was beautiful.
I want to stick a question in there.
That's right.
What is the significance of the fact that the white man had to come and make that symbol as opposed to the rest of the black cast?
Because it shows the hypocrisy right in your face. You're not going to say nothing. You're not going to do nothing. You ain't going to say nothing. You ain't going to do nothing. Mum's the word. Okay, now when we do it, you can't say nothing or do nothing. Because look, you ain't say nothing or do nothing. Like the fact that whole event and Snoop getting it in right, the photo of Snoop, like no smoking. And listen, this is our culture.
We're gonna do this right here, right now. And it's California's legal.
No gang flags. And this is our culture. Dre there's still no love for police.
They didn't bleep that one.
Oh,
they didn't bleep that one.
We got love for police. You said it on the 50-yard line, halftime Super Bowl.
In front of 112 million people.
In front of 112 million people. This is the dude that produced F the Police. Do people understand that was a demonstration? They was actually banging. Honestly.
So there is power in taking the stage.
Yep.
And power not taking the stage.
They took the stage. Mm-hmm. Like they didn't like they were professional. They top of the food chain as artists, performers. 50, Kendrick Lamar, Mary, Dre, Snoop, Anderson .Paak, Eminem. Like, that's the top of the top of the top.
Don't get no higher.
But don't get, literally, Snoop. and he didn't curse. He didn't miss a line. You know how hard it is to be high off your rocker, knowing you can't curse your favorite. It's your favorite. This is just your catalog. This is you in LA. You home. You want to give your people, but he kept it completely clean and didn't fumble one time. Snoop don't get enough recognition as a GOAT, in my opinion.
That's a good thing.
To me, did you see what he did with the Ultimate Fighting? It was the boxing thing with when he hosts. I don't even remember who was fighting. I remember Snoop hosting.
That's all that mattered.
That's all that, and he goes from personality to personality. He can talk politics, like articulate politics. He could give you the street. He could give you the pimpology. He could give you that, like high and drunk. Now, we're not recommending people try this at home, ladies and gentlemen. Moderation is key. Actually, abstaining is even better. Trust me, I get it. No doubt, all we do is spark madism. Time and place for everything. Me, myself, I like to keep a clear head when going into certain things. Or me, I'll fumble the ball. Right? This dude does it seamlessly, effortlessly, never misses a beat, always stays in character.
How about I saw Snoop one year at Sabres Day. How about that? Well-rounded. Let's give this round of applause for Snoop real quick.
He openly embraces the Minister Louis Farrakhan, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. He openly embraces it And then he goes to them and says, I need this money.
That's only one Uncle Snoop, bro.
I gotta give me this. But he's got football leagues. You know how many NFL players came through Snoop's league? So when we talk about the give back, the investment in the young men and young women, be it, Snoop, the LeBrons of the world, a lot of these athletes and entertainers are connected, are giving back. You know what I'm saying? So we could turn a negative into a positive, and the fight for ownership is key. So Byron Allen and my man, Robert Smith, they're in talks to trying to get a franchise. That's a beautiful thing, but still you got to go in front of 32 other teams that don't look like you that ask for permission to be a part of what's theirs. Now, wouldn't you run yours the same? Shouldn't you be running yours the same way?
Listen.
I mean, it's theirs.
Wow.
But 70% of the league, yeah, you're right. 70% of the league is African American, but until we have ours, what are we gonna offer that 70%?
We're gonna come into that, and we're getting close to the close. I'm not gonna hold you too long over the hour, I promise. Let's get into this. We talked about the concept of protest, of people taking a knee, of people saying, nah, I'm not gonna do the Super Bowl. Those are all forms of protest, but the word protest, Hawk, tends to scare people. Mm-hmm. Now, having said that, in 2016, we obviously all witnessed Cole and Cap, as you talked about, do a protest by kneeling and saying nothing. And some of us, we was like, yo, we support that. We with him, but we still kept our eyes on every game of the regular season. We watched every game nonetheless. So my question is this: is it possible that you can protest and still be a part of the or watch the game, or do you have to clearly cut one off?
This and that, not this or that. This and that, right? So
now, how does one do both in this case?
So I boycotted the NFL. I didn't watch a game, no Super Bowls. I just didn't participate at all up until last year because I have a sports show now, right? And I figured having the sports show lets me dictate the dialogue where we can talk about these types of issues on the sports show. We can really get in and grapple with, how we see ourselves in sports entertainment and in sports business, and have professionals come on and discuss a lot of these topics that you're touching on now. So I figured like that would be my way of participating, but still, maintaining, a level of responsibility to my community, but then if somebody said to me, man, I don't watch that crap, man, I ain't, these jokers hey man, I hear you. I feel you. I'm with you. Like, and then I grew up a Cowboy fan. I said that earlier. Okay. I grew up a Cowboy fan. And Jerry Jones, man, he sided with Trump. And he's, got Dak Prescott to come out and cape for their community. And a police officer in Dallas, and we know how they get down out there. It's crazy out there for us as a people. So for that whole dynamic, and then Dak Prescott gives $1 million to the police department. Well, that's what we do. We give $1 million to the police department. Let's give $1 million to one of these organizations out here that's doing some great work with poor communities, man. Right? Right, but it is what it is. That I don't cape for the Cowboys anymore. Yeah. I mean, I grew up a Cowboy fan, so it'd be good to see them, get a Super Bowl. But I don't wear their paraphernalia. I'm not wearing their merchandise. I'm not wearing the star. Right. I'm not doing all that. No, I'm not doing that.
Because people felt the kind of way, like, if you watching the game, how you watching the game, man? We ain't watching the game. You ain't with us, man. There was that kind of energy in the room in some places, and I don't. The question is that where we should be? Is that what it means to be on code today? That everybody has got to circle the wagons?
Yes. However, people are people, and there's a human nature to people, and people go, entertainment is dumbed down the community through, it's the circus. That's what it is, right? So even now with this conversation, the fact that this thing happens allows us to now analyze all of society and show the racism, because it's all, symbolically speaking, the NFL is just a microcosm of America as a whole.
Bingo.
And, you say, like, I used to have these arguments with Torre, the writer. The debate was the NFL is very much slavery. And, like, in my opinion, the only thing that's changed between plantation chattel slavery and 2022 is technology and fashion.
Wow.
When we talk about slavery, we're talking about the relationship between owners and what they own.
Listen,
get into America as the corporate structure of America and all that, you start to see how you're being owned. You have value, like you're, as a sentient being, you give off energy, right? So we're gonna have you give us the energy by capturing your attention. Like, you have to pay attention, because your attention has value. So I entertain you to capture your attention because you don't understand your value.
Come on, man. Wow.
So it's a whole, it's bigger than just the game, the halftime. It's like there's certain things at this point, like racism. Yes, everybody's racist. You got to know what racism is. Racism is a social structure that was created to divide humanity up into segments so that one group can control the other groups. That's racism.
Now, you were right. I did not expect that angle. I tell you what, we're on the last couple of minutes of the show. My guest is the great Hakim Green. This is DJ Rockwell, and if you're with us, we thank you. And we need everybody, before we wrap up, go ahead, hit that like button, man. Hit that share button. If you're looking at us via Facebook, hit the like and share. And if you're watching on YouTube tonight, go ahead and like, and above all, subscribe. We're trying to get that 500 subscription threshold. We've been at this a year. We got content and more content on the way. Let's move to try to wrap this thing up, Hop. Now, I want to go back to the hip hop. Until Mary J. Blige said last week, or just whenever it was a few days ago, I was completely unaware that halftime show artists didn't get paid. I didn't know that.
Yeah, never.
I never knew that.
Yeah.
So, and she said that, the trade-off is worth it, what we're going to get on the back end in terms of streams and the accolades of being able to say we performed that,
For sure.
So my question is this, bro: is that a fair trade-off? Are we investing more value into that structure than who we are? I'm speaking from the perspective of the artist. Are we investing more belief and power and value in that than what we bring to the table? We just said earlier that because of our involvement, hip hop involvement in this event, they gained an extra 10% that wouldn't have existed without hip hop's involvement. Is it a fair trade?
Man, that's a hard one, because you say if I appear on the Super Bowl halftime, 112 million people, captive audience, how many streams does that translate into? How many record sales that translate to? My value as an artist goes up in terms of what I'm asking for. It shows directly after, because now I can just I don't know. You say, okay, no, if you're married, I don't know. I don't know. Like, it's like there's the individual, but then there's the collective. Now, us as hip hop, what does hip hop as a community get because of XYZ? We as hip hop have to organize to get that, which is why I have 24 hours apiece. It was a way for me to organize, create a structure that works with the communities in Newark, New Jersey around peace, love, unity, safety, having fun. And because we happen to have a mayor in Newark, New Jersey, the Honorable Roger Goodell, and an administration that understands the power of arts and culture, as hip hop, we're able to do things. right? But that's because hip hop is on this big platform, is on this big stage. And the bigger this stage gets, the more we as hip hop on the ground can utilize and get things from it, with the movement. So, it's a and we have to do a better job of organizing individual interest into a collective interest. So that happens like it happens hand in glove. You know what I'm saying? We know what's going on. So, Sean Carter, hats off to a phenomenal halftime show.
Indeed it was.
Oh my God, it was crazy. Big salute to him and Dr. Dre and everybody else involved in that. One thing I wanted to say though is, to put everything in perspective, I saw Snoop put up a clip after the Super Bowl, Eminem walking up on Al Michaels, right? Al Michaels is an announcer, NFL sportscaster, right?
Okay. Mm-hmm.
And Eminem is walking up on him, trying to tell him something. I don't really quite get what Eminem is trying to express to him, because Al Michaels goes, yo, you're the best one out there. Stop. You were the best one out there. Very specific. So Eminem is trying to, say what he's saying, which is, no, you're the best. I watch you. Oh yeah. And Al Michaels goes, you're the GOAT, right? So we gotta be careful about how we be, calling people GOATs.
The word is thrown around a lot.
And the greatest and this, that, and the third, because they're going to cement theirs. And I don't put that on Eminem. I put that on the mindset of Al Michaels and where his mind is. You were the best one out there. He made a point to distinguish Eminem from everybody else.
Interesting.
And he said, and he follows up with, you're the GOAT, right? How would you know, Al Michaels? How would you know, bro?
What is your point of reference?
What's your point of reference? How long you probably only know Eminem, Snoop, 50, Dre, because they just perform right there.
Now with his education in total.
But you get to determine from your position, why would that even be in your mind? First of all, why are you even concerned with GOAT? Why is that even a thing where you're concerned with who the GOAT of rap music is, Al Michaels? Why is that even in your head? Because they know that it's important to us who the GOAT is, who the king is. So they're gonna just assume position right in front of your face.
Wow.
They don't even ask you. They don't even discuss it with you. I'm just going to decide.
I gotta stop you. I need people to get that, what he just said. That was underlined. I need people to get what he just said. The power to pick your kings.
I don't discuss with your community. I'm just gonna make sure the books we write and that we do says this, and we're gonna ignore your thing. What are you talking about? Eminem's the GOAT. Why? Look, see, Al Michaels said it. Snoop posted it. Look,
that's a perspective for you. That's a perspective for you.
I think Snoop's, KRS. I ain't even getting that conversation, but I like to share something with you before I get up out of here.
Okay. Matter of fact, let's go to close. Let's wrap up with this, because we're now at our hour mark. And first of all, man, thank you for coming into the barbershop to talk sports and hip hop with your little brother. And again, people who know me know Vaughn don't talk sports. Vaughn is like a fish out of water right now. But this was important, because if we don't talk about this, if this dialogue dies, it's on us, because this would have happened on our watch and we didn't have the common sense to even talk about it. That would be on us. So let's close with this. As I mentioned at the outset, my brother has a new single, a new video that's streaming everywhere right now. Dave, let's go to a quick clip of that.
Sure.
Little bits of wisdom. Yo, check it out. Listen.
If pimping ain't easy, what the fuck is revolution? Rappers be spitting straight noise pollution. Here's a clean glass of water, I'll show you how to eat to live. What goes around comes, let me show you how to give. That's something that you hear when an honest at your rib. In the street, you fuck your jewels, thug drool like baby bib. I try to stay mindful, write something for the kids. Talking like I walk it, rap it how I live. I came up blue collar, strive to be a scholar, but I couldn't eat the love, I only starved without the dollar. Depression, the stress is enough to make you holler when the landlord's at your doorstep, the devil's on your collar. Since y'all like jewels, can I drop a jewel? Can I drop a jewel? Can I drop a jewel?
Ladies and gentlemen, that's Hakim Green, latest joint.
Fire.
Jewelry.
Great production. Great production, guys. I'm loving what you. Yeah. Oh, we talking about that. I'm talking about the show, the way y'all produce your thing. The Rockwell Radio Show is fire. Y'all got it going on. Salute to you, brother.
So I want to tie that song into what we're talking about as a summary.
Okay.
What I took away from that record is that you not only paying salute to OGs, you're giving an example of what we as elder statesmen in the hip hop game should be doing.
Yeah.
So I want you to take a seat as the elder statesman in sports, if you will, for a moment. If you had the ear of somebody coming into their rookie season in the NFL or the NBA, in the climate that we're in right now and all that we just talked about, what would you advise young rookie Joe Blow brother in the league for his first year? What do you tell him?
Whoa. Find somebody that you can trust to help you manage your money. Like really focus on your game in the gym, training, rehab. That's your focus. And then somebody that you can trust, that you can work with to handle your money. I say trust, like it's easy to say, oh, this family member or that family member, and family's not always the answer. Your homies is not always the answer, even when they have business degrees. That's not always the answer. So I don't want to give somebody, use your, and then because things go left. But when you talk about trust, like in order for you to be a successful athlete, you have to focus on athletics.
Come on, right.
You have to focus on your craft. Being a business mind, business management, marketing, like all those things, accounting, keeping books, all that stuff. Unless you're trained to do that, and some of these young brothers have degrees in those things. They went to college for those things while they were college athletes. They got degrees in those. But if you're not one of those people who got degrees in those areas, you want to get somebody that you can trust, who knows what they're doing. Because if you get your thing right on the field, you're gonna have access to a lot of money. And you want to have somebody that you can trust, your individual interest and your family's interest, your community's interest, you see what I'm saying? Like that's the other thing in terms of self and government. There's the self-government is first, self-government, right? You govern yourself. And governing yourself, you have your family, you govern your family, right? And then governing your family, you have to deal with the outside world. You have to trade, you have to barter, you have to communicate, you have to deal with people, you have to interact. That takes a certain level of government that individuals have to collectively come together and do. And then we build these systems up to the actual quote unquote government was really just an extension of self-government. All right. So when we're getting to access to all of these dollars and all of these opportunities, we have to govern those opportunities and govern that money for our greater interest.
That's teaching. Mm-hmm.
Right. And that's, we don't look at it like that. We kind of get dumped into a whole bunch of money and it's like, okay. And you got folks coming at us, some with great ideas that you're not educated enough to really understand the value of the idea. Some people have great ideas that just takes a lot of effort and organization to pull it off. Like it's just so many avenues to look at it that, there's no one thing that I could really tell a professional athlete that's about to be on the brink of making millions of dollars other than focus on your craft, young man, because without that, none of that money's going to come. 1, 2, let's try to find you some folks that can really hold down this other thing and create a system around you that you have to participate in the system, but you letting the professionals be the professionals.
And that's what I wanted to hit on right there, dear brother. We are at the end of the show, my brother. Thank you. But before we go, I want to stop the music. You said you got some bars for us. Let's go.
Okay, so this is called Stolen Art. This is about hip hop, but it's really anything. All right. Something out of nothing, the culture grew from breaks, B-boys with fat laces helping DJs carry crates. 12 inches with the name covered up, 45s black with tape, needle dropping on the get down part, 1-to-1, never late. Moonwalk looked like skates, time is infinite like the 8, build to destroy the devil's world, God body at the gate. In God we trust, in dollars we lust, catching crumbs off the cake, now we bop to a beat on walls of concrete in northern state. It was 88, we was victims of a scheme. It was all just a dream, now my homie is a fiend. We live for the culture, but we kill for the cream, trying to make the street light up, stay on your toes, Billie Jean. It's like hip to the hip, flow liquid like exhibit, here to create the culture with every breath as I live it. They try to prohibit, but I'm the master to pivot. No gimmicks on point like a digit. I'm like Malcolm, ready to rock it. Get your hand out my pocket. Everybody the gatekeeper, but y'all forgot to lock it. Cool. Swear by culture, freedom. I got more vice than Tubbs and Crockett. Now my boy Elroy out the space like Spacey Sprockets. Truth be told, we was crushed from the cold. Niggas getting high off the dust from Sugar Hill. Now the truth gets sold with strippers on a pole. The light just with rappers for the thrill. Getting a rush from off one pill when Flash was on the wheels. Singing white lines with my brothers and folded bills. Slinging white dimes, Uncle Joe wrote that bill around 94, fucking around with Hillary and Bill. It was Coe and Tell. Now y'all go and tell. Hop on the gram. Look, show and tell. No ethics and no codes, just cut the pie a la mode. Spinning red whites, now lights the block like a strobe. Behold, the pale horse that he rode. Here to bring death with guns to unload. Conspiracy to conspire is a theory on the wire when Cohen is a priest whose doctrine is the liar. Here to rob the hood, I keep it tucked like the friar. Grew into a man following rappers I admire. No more B-boys in the cypher, no more DJs catching breaks. Now everybody in the trap with 45s wrapped in tape. The culture has been raped, pimped out, and straight slutted. Just like the Bronx in the 70s, everything gutted, crusted, rusted, busted, and disgusted. We should have shut it down when Chuck said not to trust it.
Listen, y'all. Listen. There were so many references. I should have been writing them down. He went to Tubbs and Vice. We heard about Spacely Sprockets. Salute, my brother.
Salute. Yeah, that's Stolen Art off the upcoming Aubrey album. It features Carl Thomas, produced by Ron Lawrence. Big shout out to Media Famous out there. Yeah, we know Madism. Look out for Madism. Madism's coming at you. We dropping jewelry. You know what I mean? That's what we doing. We dropping jewelry.
Before we go, tell us about the podcast and when they can watch and where they can watch.
We got Madism Sports right now. We're every Thursday at 7 o'clock during football season. We switch back to Tuesdays. Basketball season, we're on Thursdays. So Thursdays, 7 o'clock, Madism on the YouTube channel and Facebook. Madism. And also we got Madism TV, where I have it's a one-on-one interview show. This Sunday we got Young Guru on the platform, and I got Obiel Dune from The Last Poets on the 22nd. Yeah. We getting it in. I'm trying to drop some jewels, bring some people in. That's going to help spread this knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. You know what I mean? That's what we do.
That's what I'm talking about.
BDP all day, every day.
With it. Brother, we thank you. I want to shout out before I go. Thank you to Brother Minister Willie Muhammad out of New Orleans, March 46, for turning me on to that Jimmy the Greek clip. Brother, thank you. This applause is for you. And next week, we'll be back celebrating Savior's Day with the MGT, taking over the Rockwell Radio Show. We will see y'all next week. We are out of here.
Rockwell. I'd like to know, are you really ready for some super dynamite?